Welcome back to the Southern Quality Ford Friday Night Blitz. Let's go ahead and get back into our highlights.
Let's go ahead and roll the Northwood highlights here. The Northwood Falcons ranked 4th in the 4A Power Points, taking on the Tide at the pit. This is Minden quarterback Trent McLaughlin fumbles the ball after being taken down by Northwood. Then they scoop it and take it in for the touchdown. Northwood taking an early lead. A little bit later, Minden quarterback again. This is McLaughlin. He's throwing the pass. He's looking deep down the field. He's got a guy that he thinks is open, but it is knocked away at the last second by the Northwood defensive back. And then a little bit later, Seth Johnson going to take the ball off the right side, but he is taken down by the Falcons. That Falcon defense had a pretty good night. They take down Minden on the road, 20-14 the final.
In 5A, the Houghton Buccaneers looking for their 3rd district win as they take on Southwood. This is Houghton taking it in for the early score right there to give them the lead. Then Southwood with a response. They have the ball before being taken down, though, by that Buccaneer defense. Buccaneers back on offense here, and they're going to keep it on the ground, taking it in for the score from a few yards out. Houghton winning big at home as they take down Southwood 47-22.
The Parkway Panthers taking a break from district play on homecoming over at Crownover Stadium. This is Camontavious Grant trying to find an opening in the pocket but cannot find anyone open, so he runs it off the right side. He's going to get about 10 yards before finally being knocked out of bounds. Then a little bit later, it's Grant again looking to pass. No one open, but he finds an opening in the defense. He's going to take it in himself for the touchdown. Pelicans getting on the board. A little bit later, though, the Panthers trying to answer. This is Gabe Larry looking for an open pocket. He finds Rayshon Cook and gains a couple of yards there. Nice little 15, 20-yard gain. And then a little bit later, watch this run, Brad. We may see this a little bit later. Elijah Bennett breaking 1, 2, 3, running through another tackle, and then reaching across the end zone for the touchdown. This one all Panthers tonight, 34-14 the final.
Captain Shreve Gators currently in position to host a playoff game. They need to keep winning, taking on Airline tonight. This is Jordan Gladney giving it to Thomas Williams. He gets the feed, takes it into Captain Shreve territory, about a 15-yard gain on the play. Later in the drive, Vikings inside the 5. Gladney looking for a receiver. He's brought down by the Captain Shreve defense. Vikings would have to settle for a field goal to cut the Gator lead in half. Captain Shreve, though, in control in the second half as they take down Airline 20-10 the final at Lee Hedges.
The Logansport Tigers looking primed for a deep playoff run, returning to district play tonight against Block. This is Tresman Brown taking the handoff and taking it in for the score from a couple yards out. That made it 21-0. Very next possession, Logansport on the move again. Landon Moon drops back and quickly finds Patrick Mims in the end zone for another touchdown. And then a little bit later, blocks Josiah Anderson, trying to find someone open for a first down, but Logansport living in the backfield tonight. Jason Urbina getting the sack there. All Logansport tonight, 60-0 the final in that one.
Let's go back to District 1 4A. The North DeSoto Griffins looking to bounce back from a tough loss, taking on the BTW Lions tonight. This is Jaden Procell looking deep, connecting with his receiver on the play. He takes it in for the touchdown that puts the Griffins up 35-0. BTW trying to pass that Griffin defense there for the interception, taking it the other way for the pick 6. That is Matthew.
Keep going.
Wisher, who takes it in for the pick 6. They're now up big on the Lions, and then Jaden Procell hooking up with his brother right there on the long touchdown. That is Jackson Procell on the score. That puts them up 49-0. This one all North DeSoto as they take it 49-20.
Staying in 1-4A, the Woodlawn Knights celebrate homecoming as they look for their 2nd straight win, taking on Bossier. First quarter, Bossier quarterback DeAndre Summage hands it off to fullback Rico Stifler, and he's taking it in for the touchdown. Bossier gets on the board, going up 14-0. Early on in this one, Woodlawn answers right back, though, on 3rd and long. Kentrez Roby finding Brian Stewart. And guess what, Brad? It's now a track meet. And Brian Stewart's going to win the gold. 85 yards to the house. Bossier still up 14-7 at that point. The Knights, though, marching right down the field again. And Brad, check out this play. We may see this one again a little bit later. Roby to Brian Stewart. Great catch. The circus catch there for Stewart. The very next play, Roby decides to keep it himself, and he's going to run it in for the score. Reaches across the end zone for the touchdown. Woodlawn all over Bossier in this one. Final score, 56-24, as the Knights take care of business at home.
All right, well, this week's Friday Night Blitz game of the week could very well decide District 11 3A Division II as the Wascom Wildcats square off with the Elysian Fields Yellow Jackets.
That's right, Brad. Both the Jackets and Wildcats 3-0 in district play, but the Wildcats are 4-1 over the last 5 meetings of this rivalry. Jory Perry's has more in the game of the week from Elysian Fields. Take it away, Jory.
Well, guys, when it comes to expectations for any rivalry game, that's just it. You can't have any. And that's exactly the same case tonight for our game of the week, Wascom taking on Elysian Fields. But the one thing that we can expect is for it to rain on one of these teams' parades as they will be handed their first district loss. Let's get into some of the highlights from our game of the week. The crosstown rivalry between Elysian Fields and Wascom over at Jacket Stadium. Let's get into the first half action. 6-0 Elysian Fields and Wascom's ensuing possession. Raymond Ramirez faking the initial handoff, gets under pressure, fumbles the ball, and Chris Smith is there to recover, and he goes the distance, 75 yards all the way to the house. Jackets take a 13-0 lead. Early in the second quarter now, Wildcats making some noise of their own. Ramirez feeding TK Hamilton. He runs it in for the first Wildcat touchdown. It's 13-7 Jackets. Moving ahead 14-13 Wascom. The ensuing snap after a Wildcat fumble recovery. Ramirez pitching it to Hamilton. It's a reverse to Trey Jones, who gets it back to Ramirez. He goes deep, connects with Brian Holland. He's stripped of the ball, and it is recovered by the Jackets. None of these 6 turnovers were cashed in after the second Wascom touchdown. It's 14-13 Wildcats at the half. Second half now, Wildcats scoring first. TK Hamilton having himself a night, getting the feed again, breaks free from the defense and takes it all the way in for the score. It is now a 21-13 game. Later in the fourth, 28-19 now, Jackets with a last effort. Ryan Wilkerson with the QB keeper gets into the end zone to make it 28-26, and that would be the final. Wascom getting the win. Let's hear from Coach Keeling after the game.
Well, we knew they were a tough opponent, and we knew it was going to take a great game to win. We didn't play real good early on. You got to give them credit. They kept battling just like we did, and we made more plays at the end.
So Wascom getting the wet and wild win here tonight at Jacket Stadium. Reporting at Elysian Fields High School, I'm Jory Perry. Let's send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Jory. Let's go ahead now and get into our Texas highlights. The Carthage Bulldogs hitting the road for their second district game. They have the statewide longest winning streak so far at 35 games. And this is going to be Chapel Hill, though, trying to play upset. Tanner Rudd going to Kajon Thomas.
Oh, wow.
He takes it in or down to the deep into Carthage territory, and then this is going to be Rudd going for the long pass. He's going to hook up with Robbie Williams in the back of the end zone. Chapel Hill up 7-0 on Carthage right now, but then Carthage is going to try to get something going. Gunner Caps is going to get it to Tucker Smith. Smith runs it through the traffic. Carthage was in trouble early. From there, though, the Bulldogs take over as they get the win over Chapel Hill on the road, 31-10, the final.
The Marshall Mavericks have won 14 straight district games. Can they make it 15 against Jacksonville? That's the 1988 team leading them out of the tunnel. The Mavs get on the board first. J.J. Green buying some time before finding Jacoby Mitchell on the deep ball in the back of the end zone. Just like that, 7-0 Marshall with the lead. As for the defense, the Mavs came to play tonight. Brad, check out this hit by Champ Mathis on this pass. He is laying the wood. The Indian sideline, they don't like the celebration. Every player in the game assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty after that play. But then later in the second quarter, Jacksonville punting out of their own end zone. The punter steps out of bounds for a safety. That made it 9-0. The Mavs special teams, though, making plays all night long. This is later in the second. Marshall getting another block punt. This is Brevin Randall. Breaks free, gets his hands on the punt, and Marshall cashes in on the very next play. DeKendrick Bender in from 2 yards out from the Wildcat formation. Mavs led 16-0 at that point, and they go on to win big, 38-0 the final.
Pleasant Grove and Gilmer meeting up tonight. This one was a thriller a year ago, not as high scoring tonight. This is Ben Harmon at the goal line, rolling left, throwing to the end zone, but the Buckeyes breaking up the pass. They would take over on down, so that was a 4th down play. Mason Hurt going to give the ball off to his running back, but the Hawks defense, bailing their offense out there. They get the stop in the end zone to force a safety. And then now back on offense, this is Harmon at the goal line. He gets Tyler Kelly taking it in for the Pleasant Grove touchdown. As I said, not as high scoring last year. This one only 14-0, but the Hawks coming away with the win.
The Texas High Tigers, they're 0-3 in district play. Can they break through this week against Sherman on the road? Sherman defense setting the tone early. Ethan Bedgood gets the sack and turns the ball over to the offense. And then on the first play of the game on offense for them, Damian McKee gets loose and is eventually dragged down deep in Tiger territory. A little bit later, Mike Brown would take it from there. Brown scampers into the open, and he is all the way into the end zone. He's finding pay dirt. That gives Sherman a 7-0 lead. Texas High would answer, though. Colton Clack looking deep down the field and finding Miles Washington, and we are all tied up at 7. Tigers looking to add to that. Clack keeps it and is hit hard. The ball pops loose, and Cross Pike is there to recover it for the Bearcats. Sherman now trailing 14-7. Blaze Benson powers his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Texas High coming up just a little short on the road. 27-21 the final.
Liberty Ilo Leopards fresh off a bye and beginning district play against Longview Spring Hill. This is QB Isaiah Cross getting a nice gain, but later in the drive, unable to get anything going, brought down by a handful of Panthers there for the sack. Now, Cross taking the snap again, trying to get going, but unable to ever really get some moves here. And then this one coming down to the wire, but Liberty Ilo starting out district play the right way as they get a 28-20 win over Spring Hill.
The Hughes Springs Mustangs hitting the road for Week 8 against Hooks. This is Bryce Johnson, and he is going to take it straight up the gut, and he's off to the races. And once again, Brad, number 5, he's going to win the gold. Takes it in for the long touchdown. And then Nakia Lee taking in the 2-point conversion. That made it 8-0. This one all Hughes Springs tonight. They take care of Hooks, 26-12 the final.
Pine Tree Pirates at home this week taking on Nacogdoches, and this is Nacogdoches QB Jake Smith getting the high snap, giving it to his running back Terrence Swindell, who is going to break a few tackles, run the ball all the way down the field, and he's just going to take it in for the easy long touchdown run right there. Nacogdoches taking an early lead. Pirates possession now. DJ Freeman is going to fumble the snap. Somehow will pick it up, then will break away, makes a little gain out of what could have been a disaster, but Freeman injured on the play. So now Corey Thomas in for him. He's going to give the ball to Jaden Smith. Drag and stop the Pirates for a turnover on down. This one going down to the wire, but Nacogdoches getting the very close win. They take down Pine Tree 43-42. Oh, coming up on the Southern Quality Ford Friday Night Blitz, we're going to head up to Arkansas.
The Arkansas High Razorbacks are in the conference driver's seat. Can they maintain pole position? We find out coming up after the break. Plus, we're coming back to Louisiana. Lots more Louisiana highlights coming your way as well.